has touched down at the Simalen International Airport in Yaoundé today, beginning a 3-day apostolic visit to Cameroon. It is the first papal visit to the country in over 15 years. Plus, authorities in Haiti have arrested 9 people, including state officials, following a deadly stampede that left several victims dead and raised a serious concerns over crowd control and event safety. And fresh controversy has engulfed the African qualifiers for the Under-17 Women's World Cup. This and more will be yours in a few minutes to come. Good evening and welcome to News Hour on Royal TV. I am Sharon Tita for presentation. Pope Leo XIV has been warmly received in Cameroon today at the Simalen Airport in the nation's capital city, Yaoundé, bringing a message of reconciliation to a nation needing peace. The population hope that the coming of His Holiness will go a long way to bring peace. Details in the following report with Natalie Juma.
The white Alitalia aircraft carrying the Holy Father landed this afternoon under a bright Yaoundé sky at the Simalen International Airport. As the door opened, government officials, bishops, clergymen and thousands of faithful lined the tarmac chanting songs to welcome Pope Leo XIV as he steps feet on Cameroon soil.
Portez! Homme! Présentez! Homme!
Léon XIV, son Excellence Monsieur le Président de la République du Cameroun, Madame Chantal Biya, son épouse, et l'ensemble du peuple camerounais vous souhaitent une chaleureuse bienvenue et un agréable séjour au Cameroun. Your Holiness Pope Leo XIV, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Cameroon, Mrs. Chantal Biya, his wife, and the people of Cameroon wish you a warm welcome and a pleasant stay in Cameroon.
He was received by the President of the Republic, Paul Biya, the President of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon, Archbishop Andrew Nkea, and the Apostolic Nuncio, as well as other dignitaries, after which he was presented a bouquet of flowers as a hearty welcome. Security is tight, but festive. The 30-kilometer road from Simalen to the Apostolic Nunciature in Yaoundé was lined with school children, church groups and traditional dance troops. The Pope travels in his Pope mobile van brought to Cameroon specifically for this visit. His agenda is packed. The Papal's visit will entail a courtesy visit to the President of the Republic at the Unity Palace. Thereafter, followed by a meeting with the authorities, civil society and the diplomatic corps at the Congress Center in Yaoundé. The Pope will equally visit the Ngol Zamba orphanage as well as hold a private meeting with the bishops of Cameroon at the headquarters of the Episcopal Conference. For many who are sat present to welcome Pope Leo XIV, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event as churches across the country have gladly received the pontiff and hope his visit comes with peace.
Bamenda is getting ready from churchyards to motor parks. Residents are painting, cleaning and rehearsing to welcome Pope Leo XIV ahead of his expected visit to the northwest region of Cameroon. Catholic faithful in the northwest region are bracing to receive the Pope tomorrow Thursday, as Natalie Juma tells us in the following report.
Catholic faithful of the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda, Christians and non-Christians at large, are eagerly awaiting the arrival of the Sovereign Pontiff to Bamenda tomorrow, Thursday 16, 2026. At the St. Joseph Metropolitan Cathedral, Big Mankan, last-minute preparations are ongoing as Reverend Sisters could be spotted busy cleaning and decorating the church house with the Vatican colors, while technicians and journalists are busy cutting the T's and dotting the I's in order to provide live broadcasts to those who will be watching from their homes. The Swiss guards, who are responsible for the Pope's security, are already in Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest region. They will be working in close collaboration with the forces of law and order and the Cameroon Defense Force to provide security for the Supreme Pontiff and his entourage throughout the stay in Bamenda. Business, too, is at its peak for those selling fabric, gadgets, and paraphernalia concerning the Pope's visit. The Papal is expected to land in Bamenda tomorrow at the Bafut Airport at exactly 11 a.m. Upon his arrival, he will move straight to the St. Joseph Metropolitan Cathedral, Big Mankan, where he will grant audience to bishops and church leaders, as well as clergymen and civil society figures who will be present. After the audience, Pope Leo XIV will return to the Bafut Airport, where he will celebrate a pontifical high mass at the open air of the airport before returning to Yaoundé same tomorrow. The joy and enthusiasm is palpable as the Christians are anxious to welcome Pope Leo XIV, who is currently making his first tour to Africa since his ascension to the pontificate on May 8, 2025, with Algeria, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea and Angola making his first countries to visit in Africa.
Thank you very much, Nathalie Juma, for that report. The 10 years Anglophone crisis has put Cameroonians at sorrowful and tight end. They see the coming of the Pope as a solution to their problems. Many calls have been made for the Pope to seek solutions to their problems. Details in the following report with Mwambo Williams.
Cameroon prepares for a historic moment. Pope Leo XIV arrives today, April 15, 2026, for a 4-day visit. Many see him as a messenger of peace for Anglophone crisis, a conflict that has displaced over 679,000 people and kept over 800 children out of school since 2016. But he is not the first to come with that hope. In November 2019, a joint delegation from the African Union, Commonwealth, and Francophonie met President Biya, urging broad-based dialogue. In January 2018, Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland called for peace and unity in Southwest. In January 2021, Cardinal Petro Parolin came with Pope Francis's message. I quote, "The Pope is well aware of the difficulties. He implores the Lord's consolation for you." He celebrated masses in Bamenda at the heart of the crisis. Even our own men of God have worked for peace. In October 2020, Jesuit priest Ludovic Lado trekked from Douala to Yaoundé, saying, I quote, "Our indifference has become a collective sin." Reverend Kilian Donwi Shamikara, kidnapped 3 times in Northwest, says, I quote, "Cameroon is a nation indeed for healing." Switzerland tried to mediate in 2019. The US Congress sent a fact-finding mission. The UN, EU, and World Council of Churches have all spoken out, yet the guns have not fallen silent. So why do expectations remain high for Pope Leo XIV? Archbishop Andrew Keya of Bamenda puts it this way: the Pope comes as ambassador of reconciliation. Archbishop Samuel Cleda of Douala calls him a messenger of peace. The people's schedule shows his intent. He goes to Bamenda on April 16 for a meeting for peace at St. Joseph's Cathedral. He will celebrate Mass at Bamenda International Airport in the very region torn by war. A 4-day visit cannot decree peace. What it can do is reignite moral pursuit, moral pressure. The difference between the Pope and past visitors is his spiritual authority, but miracles need human hands. And that is the message from church leaders tonight. God can intervene through the Pope, but Cameroonians must first play their role. That means governments and separatists returning to genuine dialogue. It means communities rejecting hate speech, each citizen refusing indifference. As Father Lado says, our indifference has become a collective sin. The People's Present is a reminder, not a replacement, for the work of peace. Pope Leo XIV celebrates Mass at Yaoundéville Airport on Saturday before departing. His is the first papal visit since Benedict XVI in 2009. Whether this visit marks a turning point, it will depend not only on Rome, but on Bamenda, Boya, and Yaoundé. I rest my case.
It was more than just a reunion. It was a revival of spirit. Former classmates of Government Bilingual High School Limbe, batch of 1990 to 1996, turned their annual gathering into a powerful blend of fitness, fellowship, and future buildings. From a 5-kilometer sports walk at dawn to spiritual talks on health, business, and community, the alumni proved that their bond is not only nostalgic but free to progress. Details in the following report with Frida Lena Voma.
The day began with energy and determination. Alumni laced up their sneakers for a 5-kilometer sports walk from Mile 1 to the meeting venue, a symbolic reminder of the importance of regular exercise. Once assembled, the program shifted gears to health talks, highlighting the value of balanced diets, adequate rest, and physical activity in maintaining a healthy lifestyle. But it was not just about health talks. Business discussions took center stage, with members brainstorming ideas for a common project to strengthen the alumni association. Networking was emphasized as a powerful tool for job creation and employment opportunities.
How we can give back to our alma mater and also to be able to come out with a project that will be able to help us have some kind of financial stability. So today was very exciting. Almost everybody said something, and we had health talks, importance of health. We also had business ideas.
The meeting also addressed the role of members in the diaspora, stressing how they can remain instrumental and supportive from afar. To keep the bond alive, alumni agreed to hold routine meetings every 2 months, rotating hosts to strengthen ties and ensure prompt support in times of need.
Project at hand, we want to legalize our constitution, which is very, very important. It's something that will be binding, that will be able to give us a level of authority to be able to operate. And we want to also come out with projects that will be able to help empower the association. And then we see how we can.
From health to business and from camaraderie to community service, the alumni of Government Bilingual High School Limbe are proving that their annual reunion is more than just nostalgia. It's a commitment to building stronger lives and giving back.
There has been a major shift on Cameroon's political landscape. President Paul Biya has this Tuesday, April 14, 2026, officially promulgated the landmark bill amending the constitution adopted by Congress last week. The bill, which empowered the president to create and appoint a vice president, who automatically becomes a constitutional successor. Details in the following report with Mwambo Williams.
This new law officially introduces the position of Vice President of the Republic for the first time since 1972. The Vice President will be appointed directly by the President, acting as the immediate successor in the event of a vacancy due to death, resignation, or permanent incapacity. The promulgation comes just 10 days after the members of Congress voted in favor of the bill, giving the overwhelming majority of the CPDM party in both houses of parliament, that is, the National Assembly and the Senate. This law marks a new era in succession planning, altering the role previously held by the Senate President. While supporters within the CPDM majority parliament hail this as a modernization of state institutions, opposition parties have criticized the appointment-based system, raising concerns about the concentration of power. With this law now in force, all eyes are on the Unity Palace as Cameroonians await the naming of the very first vice president, which could happen in the days ahead alongside the long-awaited cabinet shake-up. What of note is that for the procedure to be completed, it must be registered, published according to the procedure of urgency, and inserted in the official gazette in English and French. For completing this procedure, President Paul Biya has just exercised one of his constitutional rights of promulgating the bill to law within 15 days. It was approved on April 4th, 2026 and promulgated on April 14th, 2026, thereby making President Paul Biya a respecter of law and state institutions.
Mwambo Williams there ending that report. Today, the world celebrates the World International Wellness Day, focusing on mental health, physical and emotional well-being. The day, recently recognized by the United Nations, aims to promote the wellness of people in absence of illness, improving economic growth. Details in the following report with Gunyi Sonita.
April 15 is being observed worldwide as International Wellness Day, a day dedicated to promoting holistic health and well-being with emphasis on mental, physical and emotional balance. The observance, recently recognized by the United Nations, highlights the importance of adopting accessible, affordable and sustainable lifestyle practices. It encourages mindful living, preventing health care and self-care as a key pillar of wellness. Experts note that wellness goes beyond the absence of illness, urging individuals to take a proactive approach to their health. At the global level, the day underscores the role of wellness in advancing the United Nations, particularly in promoting good health, reducing poverty, and supporting economic growth. The United Nations also recognizes the value of traditional knowledge and indigenous practices in strengthening health systems, combining them with modern approaches to promote inclusive and holistic well-being. With celebrations around the world featuring activities such as yoga, meditation, physical exercises, mindful eating and community-based wellness programs aim at encouraging a healthier lifestyle. The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed April 15 as International Wellness Day to serve as a platform for awareness, education, and cultural exchange, while reinforcing the importance of global health initiatives like the International Day of Happiness and International Day of Yoga. As the world marks International Wellness Day, the message remains clear. Prioritizing wellness is essential not only for individual health but also for building stronger, healthier, and more resilient communities worldwide.
The absence of public toilets is leaving thousands stranded in discomfort, risking health and dignity. The crowded corners of bus stations, bustling market, schools, and even some churches, the basic human needs of toilets is being neglected. Frida Lena says it is a silent crisis in plain sight, and the call is growing louder for authorities to act now.
In the heart of our towns, life never slows down. Bus stations, markets, schools and churches, places where thousands gather daily, but amid the noise and movement, one basic need remains unmet: access to public toilets. For many, finding a clean, safe toilet is a daunting task. Parents struggle, Children wait uncomfortably and the elderly endure in silence. The absence of facilities turned simple errands into stressful ordeals. At the markets, vendors spend long hours serving customers. Yet, when nature calls, they face a dilemma: walk long distances, pay for private facilities, or endure the discomfort. It's a silent crisis hidden in plain sight. In some schools, the lack of adequate toilets forces students to miss classes or risk unsafe alternatives. Hygiene suffers, dignity is compromised, and learning is disrupted. Even in places of worship, where communities gather for hope and renewal, the faithful often live with a pressing need unanswered. Public toilets are not a luxury, they are a necessity for health, for dignity, for community life. Without them, sanitation risks rise, diseases spread, and the most vulnerable suffer most. The solution is not complex. Authorities can act. With planning, investment, and commitment, public toilets can be built and maintained in these crowded places. It is a matter of priority, of valuing the people who keep our towns alive. This is a call to action, to leaders, planners, and decision makers. Do the needful, build the toilets, restore dignity, protect health, because every citizen deserves a safe space to answer nature's call.
Officials of the Betua Council have held their first budgetary session for the 2026 fiscal year. The meeting focused on reviewing the 2025 fiscal year and make projections for 2026 following the completion of contracts and signings of developmental projects. Details in the following report with Natalie Juma.
It was at the Betua 1 Municipal Conference Room where the Technical Committee for Project Monitoring converged to assess the just past 2025 fiscal year. After the chanting of the national anthem, the mayor of the Betua 1 Council, Bembel Olivier Cromwell, delivered a welcoming address to all municipal councillors present. In accordance with the regulations governing the operations of decentralized local authorities, the first session of the Municipal Technical Committee for monitoring the fiscal and financial implementation of public investment projects and programs for the 2026 fiscal year was convened. In his address, Mayor Bembe reviewed that in 2025, over 14 public investment budget projects were approved, representing a total of 320 million francs CFA. In addition to other projects from FIECOM, these brought the total to 16 projects, and the Betua municipality achieved a 100% budget execution rate. Compared to last year, a total of 22 projects and programs are planned for 2026 with a budget of 1,429,229,028 francs CFA, including 11 budget-funded projects. Mayor Bembe Olivier highlighted the difficulties in certain invoices due to late payment for services, which negatively impacts the start of the following year's project. Following this, the financial controller specializing in the urban community and the municipalities indicated that these issues with invoice payment to companies stem from treasury concerns and will be looked into. At the end of the session, contractors present promised to complete pending projects so as to enhance development in the city.
Thank you very much, Natalie Juma, for that report. And now onto our foreign page. Authorities in Haiti have arrested 9 people, including state officials, following a deadly stampede that left several victims dead and raised serious concerns over crowd control and event safety. Details in the following report with Nanga Sonia.
2 state officials in Haiti have been arrested after a stampede in the town of Milot that killed at least 30 people. Haiti is in mourning after a stampede at a mountaintop fortress over the weekend that left at least 30 people dead and dozens more injured. Ministers of Defense, Culture, Tourism and Interior joined a government delegation to the UNESCO-listed citadel where an investigation is underway. The Ministry of Culture and Communication said in a statement that it fired a director with Haiti's Institute for the Preservation of National Heritage, accusing him of serious negligence. Also dismissed was a director with the ministry, which officials accused of bias passivity. 9 people have been arrested, including 5 police officers. 2 others were identified as employees of Haiti's Institute for the Preservation of National Heritage, which oversees La Citadelle. Enozi Firin, a prosecutor in the city of Cape Haitian, told reporters that authorities are investigating what caused the stampede. The stampede took place on Saturday at an event organized by a local DJ and promoted on social media. Local authorities said overcrowding and a lack of crowd management triggered a stampede. Eyewitnesses reports say police used tear gas on the crowd after a fight broke out, causing people to panic. Haiti's prime minister expressed deep sadness and declared 3 days of national mourning. Tensions are rising in Algeria after reports of a suspected double suicide attack shook the city of Blida, just southwest of the capital Algiers. According to a source close to the case, 2 individuals detonated explosives Monday afternoon, killing themselves in what's been described as incidents of a terrorist nature. Video footage verified by AFP shows 2 severely mutilated bodies lying in the street as bystanders gathered and attempted to cover them amid light rain. The timing is striking. The reported blast came just hours after Pope Leo XIV arrived in Algiers, marking a historic first visit by a sitting pope to the country. Authorities had already put tight security measures in place, though no direct link has been established between the visit and the incidents. Confusion still surrounds what exactly happened. Algerian officials have not confirmed the attack, and even the African Union walked back on earlier condemnation, saying the information could not be verified. While Algeria continues to battle remnants of armed Islamic groups from its civil war era, attacks of this kind have become increasingly rare in recent years.
Thank you very much, Nanga Sonia, for that report. And now onto our sports page. Anafoot Limbe has dominated the second edition of the Project One Shoes tournament that took place recently in Limbe. Anafoot Limbe won champions of the U12 and the U14 categories of the tournament, and the U16 category saw Elite Football Club defeat Anafoot 1-0 to deprive Anafoot of a triple trophy victory. Details in the following report with Ngunyi Sonita.
The younger categories, Anafoot of Limbe stamped the authority, clinching both the under-12 and the under-14 titles after dramatic penalty shootout, showcasing discipline and resilience. However, the highlight of the tournament came in the under-16 category, where Elite Football Club of Bamenda delivered a commanding performance to defeat Anafoot of Limbe. The high-intensity encounter saw Elite Football Academy take control early, breaking the deadlock and maintaining pressure throughout the game. Despite Anafoot's effort to respond, struggled to penetrate a well-organized defense and failed to find the back of the net.
I'm so much joy. What cannot express. We came for the tournament, started our first game here at the Centenary. We lost. We had to go back to the drawing board, but we are thankful that at the end of the day, we are champions of the under-16 category. Thanks to the organizers of the Project One Shoe tournament. It's a very great initiative for young talents because the exposure is there. There is a good quality of football, and being a participant for the first time, it's an avenue which definitely will carry back the news to the Northwest.
At the end of the day, we had 3 finals and we won 2, so I'm not disappointed. During the first section of the game, our players don't believe in themselves. In the second half of the game, that's when they proved they could do more better, and the press until the Bamada team decided to go backward.
Reacting to the tournament, the vice president of Project One Shoes praised the level of competition, noting that the event continues to grow stronger with each edition.
The football keeps improving, and that's what we want to see. Year after year, we'll be seeing better quality as teams learn along the way. We have learned too, so next year we're definitely going to be better. So next year we will see better quality of players throughout the tournament. We need the feeling that what we're doing is right. So we'll continue to move up from here, and you never know what we'll have, what we'll get in 2-3 years from now.
On his part, the organizer expressed confidence in the future of the tournament, revealing that plans are underway to expand the competition in subsequent editions.
24 teams to 36 teams. So it makes a very, very big difference, and it's so challenging moving from 24 to 36. And even though our host academy, that's Emma Soccer Academy, didn't qualify for the final or didn't win any trophy, but I think fair play is something that it has to be respected in this tournament, and we think we've respected the fair play. You can see for yourself the teams that won the competition. They are teams coming from different parts of the country, especially the team coming from Bamenda to win in the under-16 category. I think it's a very, very good achievement, and I believe future sponsors also will be willing to see how Cameroon is diversified, how kids can be able to express themselves coming from different parts of the countries and from the hinterlands also, to prove that football can not only be played in the cities but also from far and wide.
With rising talent on display and growing organizational ambition,
fresh controversy has engulfed the African qualifiers for the Under-17 Women's World Cup as allegations of age manipulations against several teams threaten to undermine the integrity of the competition. Details in the following report with Claudia Voma.
The ongoing qualifiers for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup have been thrown into uncertainty following multiple complaints filed by participating nations over suspected overage players. Sources close to the competition indicate that concerns have been raised about the eligibility of certain players, with teams questioning whether age regulations are being respected. The accusations have quickly spread across the continent, igniting debate among fans, analysts and football stakeholders. Age falsification has long been a sensitive issue in African youth football, but the current wave of allegations appears to have intensified scrutiny like never before. Observers warn that failure to address the situation decisively could damage the credibility of the qualifiers and the broader image of youth competition in Africa. Attentions have now shifted to the Confederation of African Football, which is expected to examine the complaints and determine appropriate measures. However, CAF has yet to release an official statement, leaving teams and supporters anxiously awaiting clarity. With qualification spots for the global tournament at stake, the controversy has added a new layer of tension to the already competitive fixtures. Many stakeholders are now calling for stricter enforcement mechanisms, including advanced medical testing and documentation verification, to ensure fairness and transparency. As the qualifiers continue, the spotlight remains firmly on CAF and its next move in addressing a crisis that could shape the future of youth football governance on the continent.
Pope Leo XIV has touched down at the Simalen International Airport in Yaoundé today, beginning a 3-day apostolic visit to Cameroon. It is the first papal visit to the country in over 15 years. Plus, authorities in Haiti have arrested 9 people, including state officials, following a deadly stampede that left several victims dead and raised serious concerns over crowd control and event safety. And fresh controversy has engulfed the African qualifiers for the Under-17 Women's World Cup. Dear viewers of Royal TV, it's on this note that we wrap up our news for today. The news was produced by Natalie Juma, technically assisted by David Tita, and for presentation, I am Sharon Tita. Good night.